Hello, my friends. Happy to be back at yourvision.blog. And today I have a fantastic guest. It's Lucas Vandroux. Hello, Lucas. Happy to have you
Hi,
here.
Gregor. Good to
Hey,
be here.
yes, that's really fantastic. And Lucas, we have a fantastic topic today about computer vision and AI in manufacturing and
hmm
how it will slowly but surely change the way of all our products are built. That's really fantastic, the combination of AI, computer vision, and manufacturing. You are the expert. And so we are happy to hear, to know what will change in the future, what is state of the art. But first, let's start who you are.
Yeah, very happy to be here and to talk about those topic. As you say, I'm Lucas. Maybe a bit background on my story. I started studying computer vision and machine learning at the time. What I really was passionate about and what was really booming at the time I was finishing my master degree in 17 to 18 was like self-driving cars. So I wanted to pursue this, and I actually went to China to university to do my master thesis because they had very cool lab, they have very cool facilities, and I was really like China as well. And what happened there is that I got contacted by ABB, another big Swiss manufacturing company. There was a team there actually from ABB in one of their factory in Shanghai who at that time was looking for people with computer vision and AI knowledge to help them solve some visual inspection issues. And well, I'd say yes. I jumped on the train. I was in Beijing at that time, and then I went to Shanghai for a weekend and work with that team to try to find a solution to the visual quality inspection issue they were trying to solve. And that was basically the first time ever I encountered, I would say, manufacturing and computer vision and AI together. And with that one of the guy was in the team back forward in the future, we decided to start a first company together. We worked together for a year. It was very exciting. Was building complete machines to put on production line in China to use AI and inspect their parts specifically. I mean, still today, and I think that's what we're going to discuss a little bit later. There are still a lot of people manually working in manufacturing. It was quite impressive to see, even in those very automated plants, the little island of people still working manually, like looking at part, inspecting, looking for defects. So I did this for a year, and then after that, I created another company. And like my clear focus was very defined by then. It's like I wanted to create a product, and specifically a software that would learn actually from the knowledge of the people doing visual quality inspection in the factories, how to basically help them and then afterwards automate their job. But getting all of this knowledge about what is a good product, what is a good quality product directly from the people doing the job and not maybe some service providers or some people that you pay from the side. And that has been my goal since then.
So I know that visual quality inspection is really hard stuff. I know it from the quality inspection of beverage cans. This is
hmm
mostly done by people with their eyes. They can concentrate for 5 minutes, then they have to change. That's really hard work. And yeah, now with AI, it can be done much easier. And you say also the process of manufacturing will change. What is now the status of manufacturing in combination with AI?
I think it's very still spread around. I think we are really in that transition period. And I think one thing to think about manufacturing is that it's very slow. So things are moving very slow. So you still, I would say, different generation of way to do manufacturing that are still cohabiting together until like, one becomes kind of the norm and everybody slowly align. Like nowadays, I work mainly with factories in Europe and in Switzerland, and I would say like automation is actually really low compared to what I used to work in China. Even where actually people are cost less money in China in overall, they are actually investing a lot more into automation. They are pushing. They are really putting a lot of effort into this. In Switzerland, especially, like automation is very low, and there are still a lot of people working. They are very good machines, but there's still a lot of people involved in the overall process. And maybe to answer a bit more your question about AI, I mean, I think it's like in every type of industry nowadays, a lot of different tasks. I mean, manufacturing, you have the production process of building the part, which is the main of manufacturing. But you have also all of the tasks around it, so all of the admin, all of the strategy, all of the sales, and this is also touched by AI in the way like sales in every industry is done. Like I don't know, automating email, automating outreach, automating looking for leads. All of this is also being touched, but I'm less engaged in those and really more on the factory floor in the process of building the product actually.
And why do you think here in Europe the automation is far behind China?
I, I would not speak for all Europe. Like I was really speaking for Switzerland, and to really like put
Okay.
like the most distance things together. I mean, there are very good initiatives to push automation in Switzerland, but I think it's also the scale of it and what type of industry people do work in, and it's really relative to the investments you can make. Like in Germany, automation is actually a lot higher, but they produce different type of things. If you produce a car, the amount of money that you get to build your production lines, the time you're going to be able to build the same parts, makes sense to invest a lot more in automation. In Switzerland, one of the reasons why automation is so slow, it's because they are building a lot less parts, which is and doing a lot more different parts. If I would have to summarize, and then today, and that's also one of the things where AI is actually changing a lot of things, is that automation is not very flexible, or making automation flexible is very expensive. So it
Mhm.
would require a lot of investment and a lot of innovation for them to actually be able to fully automatize their process.
And where or how is AI coming now into the game?
So, like speaking again in terms of visual quality inspection, so quality inspection is a lot of different things, and AI is not the solution for everything. Just maybe to make the clarification, when you look at something or when you want to verify if something is actually as it should be, there are like different tests you can do. Like one of the simplest one is measuring. And I mean to measure things, and like I don't know if a hole has the right diameters, if the side of a box has the right length. This you don't need AI for this. You have already very good tools to do this. Like you can also test if the product is working. Like if when I press the button, then the electricity goes through this wire normally. This also as well. You don't need AI for that specifically. But then what AI is really changing is actually the what we call the aesthetic aspect. So it's more like the products function perfectly, it has the right measurements, but it's not appealing to the eyes. I mean, one extreme example would be like you buy a new car, it's working perfectly, but there's like kind of a scratch on the bumper at the front, and you absolutely not going to be happy when you're going to receive that car. And then being able to detect and prevent actually customers from getting scratches on their new car is one of the things visual quality inspection is for, and it's actually one of the things AI is really good at doing.
Okay, so this is an aesthetic fact. If there is a
Mhm.
scratch or not, are there also other parts in manufacturing where you can use AI?
After, like, you can also analyze the information you get from the other parts of the quality check. um, I mean, if it's dimension, for example, I mean, dimension is also the thing. When as close as you get from something, the more variability you have. So actually, the tolerances for the dimensions
Mhm,
can tell you
mhm,
also
mhm.
a lot of things about the process that is ongoing. And there's a lot of work that is done using AI to actually predict maybe when some tools on the machine needs to be changed regarding on how certain measurements are actually evolving, and this is actually doing pretty well. And I mean, one also use case that we know we already heard about it a lot, and that had this revolution a couple of years back is um, the for the maintenance, so the planned maintenance using machine learning, actually analyzing a lot of different type of data coming from the machine, but also coming from the inspection of the output of the machines, that tells you when you should do maintenance in the machine before the machine breaks. Which at the end, the goal is just to save a ton of money to the manufacturers, because it's way easier to change the parts or tool inside of the machine before it breaks than actually waiting for it to break and losing maybe one more days to wait for the parts, maybe to change it, or because some other things were damaged to have a higher cost to fix the machine.
So this is in the way where it is used for predictive maintenance. Is this
Predictive
right?
maintenance, exactly, yeah.
And in which areas of manufacturing can you see where are they far ahead? Where are they using AI a lot?
Um, I think it's not mainly about what manufacturing is really about what manufacturers. I
Mhm.
think today, if you would look at it, it has in order to or you today still invest in AI. I think you have to do a lot of forward thinking as a manufacturers to see the potential of it because you need to change a lot of things in your process. You need to understand the value of the data that you're collecting. One of the main issue when we go to manufacturers when we try to help them automate the visual quality inspection process is that first of all they have never even taken pictures of their parts in a way that you could actually already create an initial data set of what is a defect and what's not. And I think already like doing this is actually a difficult step. It's definitely going to pay huge dividends for manufacturers who started early. But still today, it's the cases where actually people have been through the whole process and it's actually working pretty well is quite rare. And they are like I would say champions in actually every single type of manufacturing, but it's not linked to one special type of manufacturing. It's I think more linked to
Mhm.
the strategy that company is having regarding new technology innovation in the future.
Okay. So the companies who do a lot of innovation, they already are using mostly AI. And the companies who are not doing innovation, they will not use AI.
No, I think it's not they're not going to do AI, but it's today we're just starting to have like really out of the shelf tools that are very easy to use, where a lot of things is de-risked. But in the past 5 years, it still required a lot of investments from the manufacturers themselves if they wanted to use such technologies. So usually it was reserved to bigger companies or to actually companies that had really a huge focus and that were ready to invest a lot into innovation, which usually are the one that are going to win at the end. But yeah, it's true that's on the in the current time, it's not about again the industry. It's really about the strategy from the manufacturers.
Okay. So this is based on the strategy. What will they do? Or what are they doing now and what will they do in the future? But that's great. That's really great. And is there also a connection to how many parts of the series are produced that it makes sense to use AI?
So actually, there is something very interesting in manufacturing, and I think it's still used as a very good sales trick. And I love to see this because it's the complete opposite with self-driving cars. Like in manufacturing, even if you use AI to do visual inspection, the environment where you actually take pictures is very controlled. So you have really, I would say, like a very little degrees of freedom. So the environments that you're trying to actually get a distribution of, more or less, with model that you're doing prediction is actually very very limited. So you don't need that much data, specifically if you do a transfer learning, to get actually very good accuracy from the beginning. And so you have a lot of people that are here and they're showing you their like new AI system for manufacturing, and they tell you, hey, with 5 image only, we can create something extraordinarily accurate. But there's absolutely nothing magical behind us. It's just actually the way the problem is in the context of it. While when you take self-driving cars, you have actually so many different degrees of freedom. You have so many different situations that can happen that actually you need a lot of data. You need to actually the problem is way more complex. So I think that's something very interesting about AI specifically in manufacturing is that to get to a good level at the beginning, it's actually not very complicated. What's going to be very difficult in manufacturing though is that you actually get very few parts with defects. So you got really really little samples that you can either use for the training or even use to test your system. And that's where a huge challenge is.
Okay. Are there differences from the industries who are already using AI? Is it more in metal processing, in plastics, in fabric, chemicals? Where do you think they are using most AI now?
I would say like the bigger boom that I've seen are like in electronics and car manufacturers. That's where I see. I mean, I think that's also where you have also a lot more money. to actually push, and you'll have a lot more incentive to
Mhm.
scale is way bigger. But I've seen application, to be frankly honest, in every type of manufacturing, being for woods, for food, for metal, for process
Okay.
manufacturing. And I mean, I think this is also why I wanted to put in the title of our discussion. You know, that the AI is definitely transforming manufacturing, but not at the speed that we're expecting, because more or less, I think everything has been proven to be working to a certain extent, but still the adoption of it is like very slow.
And why do you think the adoption is very slow?
I think that there are different factors. I think one of the factors is the manufacturing mindset. Like if something works, why do you want to change it? At the
Mhm.
end, they make their money when they're producing, and if it produces, then why actually complicate your life to change it? So that's one big part of it. And the second is that also, I'm saying, relative to human history, this technology is very young. Like I would say computer vision in general, and that computer vision, so I'm talking about more traditional systems that are maybe like 50 or 70 years old, is still in some cases not trusted fully. And AI with this, like I would say, 10 years of life, is actually still looked as an alien in a way. People hear it a lot, but I mean, like people also have their own life, and they spend, they do all the stuff, and they don't really spend time thinking about what AI is and how it should be implemented in their own industry. So there's still a lot of education that needs to be done. And usually, when I have a customer who is interested, one of the first thing we do is actually just a workshop to explain what is AI and how it works. Like just for people to understand that there's actually nothing magical behind it. It's more or less actually almost kind of a step-by-step improvement on what have been done before. Just that now we manage to have application and that are way more useful for them. But yeah, once they understand there is nothing magical and there is actually a way to understand and use it to your advantage, usually the conversation completely change, and then they are more willing to use AI. So I mean, we haven't started to do this for quite some time, all of this workshop, but I'm hoping to see that this will also at the organizational level help them to also open up to other technology, not only in visual quality inspection.
So first there must be the understanding what is AI, and then you
Hmm.
can go to the next step. How can AI help you in the process?
Hmm.
Is this right?
That's correct. I think we maybe are the worst person to actually try to understand this, because we are very interested by this topic. We are very curious. We also have a background in technology that help us understand more of this. But like, I mean, we have to understand that most of the people, that's not their case. I mean, I'd say they have other things to think about, you know. So AI is just one thing that's happening in the world, and that's it.
So we were talking now a lot about manufacturing in several industries, especially in car industry, also from the company ABB. You also mentioned in food processing, AI can be used. Can you explain it a little bit in which way it can be used in food processing?
I think that's really one of the main advantage of AI in all of those manufacturing, where the end product is not exactly the same all the time. And I mean, like two tomatoes are never the same. So in traditional computer vision, you need to define manually actually the rules you want to apply or you want to extract from the image to make your decision. But in the case of like tomato, no tomato is going to be the same. So the approximation that you're going to have to try to make and to make it work is going to be a lot less reliable. And though when you use AI, actually, what's going to happen in the back is that you're going to have this model that will be able to actually define millions or billions of rules based on the data you give it to be way more accurate for such type of application. And I think that you were right in the previous part of your conversation. There are industry I think where it makes a lot more sense to use AI, and also where AI actually opens the door for specific automated application. While there are some maybe it was a little simpler, and AI is just like a bit of an added value to create the solution faster, but it could be done with traditional solutions.
So, from my experience, as I know in manufacturing for metal, there is one industry which is highly experienced, completely compliant. This is aerospace. And how can AI be used in production for aerospace?
Like I'm going to focus really on the inspection of the end parts in aerospace. A very big market for us. I mean, Switzerland, Germany, France, also like big producer or big suppliers for the big aerospace names. And I think aerospace is a very interesting industry. because in a way, like the series of part that I produce are way smaller, but I would say the required quality on it is way higher. And so you're gonna have like those very, very extensive parts that are produced by those very skilled people, and then that have like very strong quality requirements. And then when you put all of these together and you want to try to automate this process, which is a traditional method, it's going to be like the price is going to explode because you're going to need to do one thing for every single parts that you have. Well, the very interesting part with AI as well is this ability to share actually the learning. And specifically, I'm going to talk, for example, like metal surfaces, like a scratch on a metal surface is actually a scratch, whatever the shape of the metal is. So when you actually manage to get a model that is good enough on the type of parts that you inspect for detecting scratches, then it's actually still going to be very accurate for different parts that are still kind of in the same family of parts. And this is really goes to where what I was talking about the flexible automation at the beginning, and that's really where the future of manufacturing is going. Is that now you don't need to build a specific automation process for every specific part. You can have one automation process that is going to be flexible depending on what you give it to it. And for this, AI is one of the needed blocks to build such type of technology
Mhm,
and
mhm,
solution.
mhm. So Switzerland, they have a helicopter producer, Copter. They
Hmm.
have a plane producers,
Hmm.
also supplier to aerospace, to the aerospace rockets. Parts will be supplied. France and Germany, we know, big supplier to Rafale and Airbus. These are big industries with a lot of parts for one series. So yes, there it will be used really a lot in it. Can you see any difference how AI is used in the industries here in, for example, in Switzerland than compared to China?
Yes, I think China is way more open to try. They have a way, I would maybe not call it startup mindsets, but they're really way a mindset of like, hey, we need to try things and see how it works out. That's the way we're going to learn, and we're going to figure out what works or what doesn't work. I think it's a good example, like working both in manufacturing in China and in Switzerland. Again, I think way like two very far away extreme. It's like in China, if you have a product that solve a solution, or that you claim that your product solve one of the problem of the manufacturers, they're going to invite you and they're going to test it, and it's going to take maybe 1, 2, or 3 weeks depending on the project. But they're going to give you the resource that you need, they're going to give you the time that you need, and then afterwards they want to see the results, and then they're going to make a decision if they want to go to continue or not. And I personally, I mean, I really like this process because it's like a lot faster. You can really understand what didn't work and what worked. I mean, with some manufacturers it doesn't work, but I mean they also understand that it's normal that it doesn't work. I mean, like they are here also to learn and to understand what's possible. In Switzerland, they want to have something that is 100% de-risk, so it's going to take a lot of talks. I mean, if I like in some of extreme, if I take like some of the project that we did in China in 3 weeks, it took us 2 years to do it in Switzerland. But it was not because of the technology; it was just because of the politics and all of the discussion and explaining to a lot of different type of people what we wanted to do, why we were doing it, why we thought it was going to work, or even bringing more proof that that was going to work, instead of like just going there, showing it if it works or not, and then moving on.
So there is the big difference. It's not the fault of the technology. So this is how the people, how much they force it and push it to adapt to the technology. Also, we can see here now USA and China, they are now fighting in AI who is better. So now at this moment we see DeepSeek. They put a lot of pressure to US and to the chip manufacturer. Here in Europe, there's not going on a lot. And if the decisions take so long, this will cause a lot of problems. Do you see any advantages we have here when using AI in Europe?
Well, we're venturing a bit into politics, I see.
Okay.
No, I mean it's perfect. I think yeah, everybody has a bit their opinion on this. I mean, I think maybe one of the advantage of Europe, and we are in a way European are still pretty happy to work with European. And I think for the next year and the years to come, I mean, there are, people are still supporting each other, trying to help each other, order from each other, and I think this is going to help, and it's going to help the people selling AI solutions here, but it's also going to help the like the whole economy basically. What I'm a little bit afraid it's more in the bit mid to long term, and I think you put it pretty well, is that the, this technology doesn't really evolve linearly. Like, so the progress that are gonna be they're gonna be made in other countries, they're gonna profit them first, and then after, for sure, people are gonna try to bring it to Europe to make it work. But what I'm more afraid about is it's more the same issue that were between Switzerland and China, is that today we could see that with globalization, everything is kind of available everywhere, but people don't receive it the same way. In the sense that, okay, it's going to be from the US, so they're going to be like, ooh, I would have preferred that it come from Switzerland, because I trust more the Swiss people. But at the end, it's the same technology behind it. And I think this is what's gonna decelerate and be a problem here. I think people needs to be more open to test and welcome new idea. I think that's the key if they want to stay in the game, and that's the only way for Europe to stay competitive in the midterm.
So, Lucas, how does computer vision actually see things? Is it like toddlers learning to recognize objects, or is it already smarter than most of us?
I mean, in terms of computer vision, I would not say that computer vision is smart, but I say computer vision is way more focused. And
Mhm.
like today, and I mean already even before actually AI existed, like traditional computer vision in some topic was already better than human. I mean, we are, I think, impressive animals in a way that our visual system is built and what type of information we're able to process, but we're also very limited. And for example, in manufacturing, where you do exactly the same job, like it's already proven that actually a system is way, way better to detect defects because we are actually not made to do the same thing for 8 hours looking at the same parts. So in that specific case, like I would say computer vision and specifically AI applied to computer vision for like analyzing images is way higher than what human can do.
Okay. And what is the coolest and weirdest thing you have seen in computer vision?
I mean, for me, the coolest thing I see today, and I think it's already very related to the trend, is specifically everything that is linked to generative AI. I mean, I was saying a bit before, in manufacturing, one of the big issue is to get parts with defects that you can maybe train your system and also test it. And I think Gen AI is really like opening some very very interesting door in this. We already had like like a digital twins that could create like some virtual simulation of different things, but like being able to create a lot more like materials to train the models using basically another AI. Uh, for me, that's what's the most impressive today, and I think that's what actually is going to push a lot of the application forwards.
So, you mentioned the digital twin. I think this is very, very important in manufacturing, isn't it?
I think it depends on the application, but it's human to be able to kind of like better grasp and want to have a better control about what's happening. And for me, the digital twin is really about being able to like and control what you want to do and or what's happening in an environment that you 100% understand, which is like the digital twin. And for us at the moment as well, that's a huge focus for us is to integrate our solutions for visual quality inspection in platform that integrates simulation and digital twins for people to really understand even before they build the things what's going to
Mhm,
happen and
mhm,
how it's going
mhm.
to work.
Okay. So, to see how it is going to work, Lucas, please tell us, what is your vision? Why are you doing that? Why are you in computer vision and AI so interested?
I think my vision is that the same way of when I was born, people assumed that computer could calculate better than human, which actually was not the case for it. Then the next generation of people that are going to be born, it's going to be like normal that actually computer can see better than human.
Mhm.
That's really like the vision I have about the words. Like like it's gonna be a no-brainer. Like computers see things better than us. Like why do you I don't know bother to try to count I don't know the number of things that are there? Like do it with your phone, for example. I think this is gonna be a really a no-brainer. Like hey, like what is the defect on this or what is this? And we already have this application nowadays, where you use a computer to basically see and extract more information than in images than we can do, but I think my vision is that this is going to be really going to become part of our society and of the way we think about the world.
Okay, so I think AI is here just at the beginning. It's a very young technology available for everybody. So AI exists already a long time, but it is still a long technology. Do
Hmm.
you think it will get more and more into our daily life in manufacturing?
Definitely. I think the manufacturers who are not gonna say use AI more in their processes, and again, not only in producing, but also in like in selling, in managing the team, they're going to be left behind from the other one. Because at the end, like the manufacturing is the whole organization. You need to be able to progress and, I mean, to provide more value for your customers. And I think this is the only way to go forward, I would say, in the economics and in the society we have built for ourselves.
Yes, I think it will also change a lot, and we are happy that we have it and that we can use it. We just have to use it in the right way.
I think most of the people are not aware actually of what's possible. I think that's
Yeah.
still the issue. And again, like I think we are really the worst person to see this because we are interested in we want actually in a way we want AI to win. Like we want people to use it more to make their life easier. But a lot of people don't see that.
Yes. So, guys, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. The link is down here. Also, click the bell to get recommendations when there is a new video available. So if you need the help of Lucas with his company Vion, here down is the contact to his LinkedIn account. You can contact him, send him a message. He can help you. He is here to help. Lucas, we know us personally, and we always had a good time together. You're a good person. You have a good knowledge. I know it, and the people really will love it. Thanks a lot, Lucas, and thanks to have you here.
Yeah, thank you for the invitation, Georg. Yeah, happy to answer any question, a follow-up question that you guys might have about visual quality inspection and AI in manufacturing.